Welcome, my name's Haslett. We're here in Ashmore Pistol Club today to just demonstrate a few of the weapon systems we use on our firearms course, our firearm safety course and our security firearms course. So we're going to show you some of the equipment that we use in the cash and transit industry. Some of the equipment that we got here today is some of the firearms that the most probable firearms that you would use, i.e. the semi-automatics and the revolvers. Okay, so what we've got here today is we've got a 9mm Glock, which is commonly used for security work and used in the police service, although they use a 40 caliber. But exactly the same gun, but just a different caliber weapon. 9mm, we're allowed to use a double stack magazine, okay, which will take 17 or 18 rounds. We can also use a single stack magazine, which will only take 10 rounds. With security firearms, you are allowed to actually use an 18 round mag, so that's quite convenient for what we need to use in security. Okay, obviously the bigger caliber of round that we use, the less that we can actually put in the magazine. So with our 9mm, our Glock 17, this is a 17A, as we can see by the extended barrel here. With this actual gun here, although it's used in security, you can actually use this one at the range too, because it has got the slightly extended barrel. The Glock 17, if we do use it at a range, we can only use it with a 10 round magazine. Okay, we're not allowed to use the double stack magazines that we use in security. So this is a 10 round magazine, and then if I go over to the security magazines, the ones that we can use in security, they're actually a 17 round magazine. So if we want to put one in the actual spout itself, we can actually carry the gun with 18 rounds in there. So only for security usage only. The Glock 27 that I got here at the moment is a subcompact, very small, perfect gun for concealment, and along with the security using this gun, the police use this gun too, and they use it out of bum bags and concealed holsters. So very good little gun for concealment. The magazine that one takes is a 9 round magazine here. Okay, and it's being a 40 caliber too, it does obviously take less rounds than what a 9mm magazine would actually take, because obviously the rounds are a lot bigger. So we're going to get to use that a little bit later on from concealment. We also have a GP100, which is a Ruger. Okay, this is a 6 round double action revolver, commonly used with more overt security. So companies like Chubb and Armour Guard and Brinks, you will actually see this revolver in their holsters, and pretty much you get to see these guys every day if you go around shopping centres or you're anywhere around a bank, and we get to fire that one too. This is a 357 Magnum round that this one actually takes, so we'll use that one a little bit later on. Okay, as you can see at the range here, I keep my safety glasses on the whole time. You can hear in the background here that we've got other people shooting at this range, so we've got 13 ranges actually here, so at any time a piece of lead can come up and hit you in the eye. Always a good idea to keep your glasses on the whole time. Along with ear protection too. It's not too bad at the moment because the guys that are firing are quite a distance away, but when we start to shoot here, ear protection is compulsory. Some of the holsters that we're going to use today, we're going to use a paddle holster here, which is a Blade Tech. This one you probably wouldn't use for security, because although it has 2 retentions, and the first retention being is connected to your belt, the second retention is only a friction retention, and probably not the safest way, but I tend to use this when I'm practicing at the range for IPSC shooting, and I like to have a more of a service type of holster, so when I am actually carrying a weapon for work, then I'm used to that type of holster. So we're going to use that one today. 2 retention, 2 screws in the side here. They actually allow you to make the retention a little bit stiffer if we need to, so your gun doesn't fall out. Okay. We've got a drop leg holster here as well, which is a Serpa holster, and the Serpa holster works by pushing a button in the side here. So this is only a 2 retention holster as well. One, it's connected to your fire and it's connected to your belt, and the second retention is the fact to take the firearm out you would need to push this button at the same time to pull it out. A lot of the guys in the security industry use the drop legs. If they're in and out of vehicles a lot, they find it a little bit more comfortable for driving a car, getting in and out of a car, rather than having a holster digging into your side all the time. We have a new holster here made by Calco, and this one's only just come out, and it's a full concealment holster. Fits just here, but obviously fits with the shirt over the top of your pants, and the retention of this one is the fact that it's actually attached to your belt, and it's quite stiff in here as well, so it's a friction retention as well. But these only just come out a couple of weeks ago, and I've been wearing this one, and it's perfect. It's a really good, comfortable holster, perfect for security work. We've just got a one mag holder here. We just bought this one today just so that we could just have a magazine carrier to go to the actual target itself. But this is a paddle type of setup as well, and I've trimmed this one up as well to the bottom here so that it hasn't got the big paddle setup of the normal holster, so it doesn't dig in when you lean forward. The ammunition we're going to use here, we've got some 9mm. These are 9mm reloads. We use the reloads for practice. We don't use these loads for security work. We have got to use factory rounds for security. So the reloads are quite handy for coming down for a cheaper way of shooting without costing you a fortune every time you come down. So we've got the 9mm there for the semi-automatic. Also we got some 357 rounds too. Again, these are reloads. They use these for the revolver, and again it works out a little bit cheaper by actually reloading our own. We don't reload our 40 calibers, so we've got some Magtech rounds here which I use in the Glock 27, and these are 42 rounds. These are the type of rounds you would use in the security industry. As you can see, they're a hollow point, semi-jacketed, and this is legal to use in the security industry. We can also use semi-wad cutters as well, or a glass of safety slug, which was used years ago by the air marshals that used to be private security guards that used to be air marshals on planes. They don't use them so much now because the federal police took that role over, and even now they're getting rid of a lot of the federal police as air marshals. So they're arming some of the American pilots at the moment, so we don't tend to see so many of the federal police on air marshal work anymore. So what we're going to do now is put on a paddle holster, and we're going to load up a 9mm. I'll show you how to load up a 9mm, and then we'll show you some of the ways of doing it properly, and we'll show you some of the common mistakes that some people make. So we're going to show you the proper way of how we teach at our training organisation of how we would load up a 9mm. So first of all, I'm going to need to put on the paddle holster. Now the paddle holster, as you can see here, has got 2 clips here. So once it goes over your belt, it's now sprung loaded, and then these 2 clips here stop the paddle holster from actually coming off. So they're a little bit tricky to put on in the first place. But once they're on, they're pretty solid, and then we've got the magazine holder. Same setup. So you can actually use, this is called an instructor's belt, a firearms instructor's belt, and you can use this as an everyday belt, and as soon as you want to kit up with your equipment, you can do it in a matter of a couple of seconds like that. So that's a handy belt. You don't have to have your other belt over the top with your belt keepers and have a lot of stuff hanging off. And if I come back to work and I want to take my holster and my magazine holder out, I can take it off in a couple of seconds too. Okay, our range here is actually, down range is down here. We've set up one target, one single target. Got it at the back here by the bullet stop, and what we're going to do is we're going to just load up a magazine or two, and then we're going to go down there and do a couple of shots, getting the stance correct, the breathing correct, and the trigger action correct. So we take out our rounds. It's always a good idea to have your rounds on the right hand side if you're right handed, and obviously your magazine in the left hand side, and have a nice fluid motion of actually putting the rounds in. So we're not pulling the rounds away from any other area of the table where we might drop them. We drop them here, then they're only going to go on the table. If we want to put a certain amount of rounds in a magazine, then what we would do, if we're going to put 10 in, like we're going to put 10 in here, not too bad because we can count across the actual box itself. But if we wanted to put 6 rounds in, then the best way of doing it is to actually take 6 rounds out of the box. If we take 6 rounds out of the box, then we don't have to worry about counting how many rounds we actually put in the magazine. Okay. So I've taken 6 rounds out here. I've got a 10 round magazine, so I'm going to load this one up with 6 rounds. Now, when we load these up, we use the smooth side of the magazine as the front of the magazine, and the square side of the magazine is the rear of the magazine. So smooth side is the front and the square side is the back. When we put the first round in, we put it down between the lips of the magazine. The second one comes down just on the projectile of the head, and we push down and we push them back in. So we'll just put 6 rounds in this magazine here. Okay, so we've got 10 rounds in this magazine and we've got 6 rounds in this magazine. Okay. So now we're going to go forward and we're going to take a few shots at the target, and we're going to show you the stance and how we're going to load up these magazines. So we're going to pick the weapon up, we're going to leave it facing down range, and we're going to slide forward, and then we're going to holster it so that we can go down to the area with the gun in a safe position on our holster. So to pull the slide forward, we got the slide lock here. So what we'll need to do from here is just to pull it down. Okay. Now the actual slide is forward. We need to point the gun down range, and then with a finger off the trigger, slowly place it into the holster. Okay. Best way of putting the gun into the holster is slow. There's never been a race to put the gun in fast. Okay, it's always been slow. That way, if you do catch the trigger, a bit of clothing catches the trigger, you're not going to shoot a nice line down the side of your leg. Okay, let's go down to the firing position.